Tomorrow, we have an NFC powerhouse matchup. Eagles, 49ers. I think it's the biggest game this weekend. And if you've been living under a rock, there's a few reasons why this is a huge game. I'm going to give you a little recap here, right? Because it all began last season. Eagles beat the 49ers in the NFC Championship game. That same game, Brock Purdy got injured early, was out in the first quarter of the game. But since then, there's been a lot of talk that if Purdy didn't get hurt, 49ers could have won. So now let's take a look at both of these teams, okay? I've been saying for weeks, Eagles are the best team in the NFL. The look on Monty's face when I say that is just chef's kiss. Beautiful. Now, the stat sheets may not show that they're the better team, but the fact that they can win and they can win ugly makes them the best in my mind, okay? They trailed at halftime in 4 straight games. They came back to win all of those games, including 2 huge last-minute comebacks last week because they played both the Chiefs and the Bills in the same week, and they are 7-1 in one-score games this season. Not done yet. Let's take a moment for their leader here, okay? Jalen Hurts.
I wasn't even going to say anything
Good. I'm not even letting you go yet. What he has shown us in those last 4 comeback games, true leadership. He's been composed. He's resilient. He's in command. He hasn't looked nervous. And he has the ability to stay calm and focused in the biggest moments. And you can tell that his team has full confidence in him. And they all collectively believe that they can win these games. Now, I mentioned off the top the stats, right? Just to put it into perspective here. These are the numbers that apparently do not matter for this team because the offense is 9th in yards per game. Jalen Hurts is 10th in completion percentage, 12th in passer rating. Defense is 20th in points allowed per game, 19th in yards allowed per game. Not a single one of these stats has the Eagles first in the NFL. But you know what? They are first in the win column, and that's what truly matters. That's what matters. Do you want me to go to the 49ers first before you
No. Let me jump in here for a second. Now, you're right. I have not liked the Eagles from the beginning. But I just want to say that I don't like them as the best team, and it's not by there's no team that is better by far than anyone else like we've seen in previous years. But I would not say that they are the best team despite having the best record, despite what you just mentioned. They are tired. And I will tell you, Jalen Hurts is my favorite Eagle. The way he handles himself, I agree with you. But this last overtime win against the Bills, when the Eagles, hit the field goal to get to overtime, Jalen Hurts looked so annoyed, so frustrated. You can look at that however you want because he knew that that's not good. We're tired. Every game, the last couple of games have been rough wins that they have had.
I feel like he was like frustrated from the 2 false starts from their leader center.
Let's not talk
Jason
about the
Kelce,
penalties
that brought them back like 10
because this
plus
entire
yards.
season the Eagles have had the penalties called in their favor almost in every game. So let's not even.
But I'm
go
saying
into
that's
that.
probably the annoyance on his face.
No, when you hit the tying field goal, you should not look like that. But you could tell that he's just tired because he knew that this was not good for them in the long run. They were going to face the 49ers. They wanted to wrap up that game quickly, and I called that the Bills needed to win because they needed to win. Bills are a disaster, and that's a separate conversation. But the Eagles have allowed 1,700 yards and over 100 points in a 4-game span. They haven't really done that. Only the 6th time in franchise history. They are not the Eagles that they were last year.
Their defense is 20th in points allowed, 19th in yards per game. Right. They are bottom of the pack.
And have found
but they're
ways
winning.
They have.
Yeah.
But this isn't going to sustain in the long run.
I mean, it could get better.
Like, it could. That I could say that about any team.
Yeah. But they're not the Eagles who have the best record in the NFL.
They have not had a quality win since they beat the Dolphins. And what do I mean by that? That they've actually won both halves. You just said they've been down.
Yeah.
Coming to the 49ers, you can't win one half. That's not gonna work. Their last quality win was against the Dolphins. And you're looking at it like, oh, they found a way to win, and that's great. And it's like, to me, I'm like, that's not sustainable. That's not sustainable at all. In any way, shape, or form.
Let's talk about the other side now.
Let's go for it.
Let's talk about it because the Eagles have not come up against a team this well-rounded. Okay? The 49ers are the most complete team in the NFL. They have an incredible defense. It's allowed the fewest points per game, 5th in yards allowed per game. Their offense is tied in points per game, 3rd in yards per game. They have some of the best weapons in the game. Christian McCaffrey leads the league in rushing yards and total touchdowns. George Kittle, Deebo Samuels, Brandon Ayuk, Brock Purdy leads the league in completion percentage, 1st in passer rating, 1st in yards per attempt. And people need to start putting some respect on Brock Purdy's name.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
This is why I believe in this matchup, the 49ers have more to prove.
Okay.
Since Brock Purdy took over the starting position, the argument had always been it's his supporting cast. It's the coaching. He's never gotten the full respect for what he's done. Even during his undefeated streak last season, winning 7 straight. Let me remind you again. He leads the league in completion percentage, passer rating, and yards per attempt. That all ended when he got hurt against the Eagles in the NFC Championship game, right? His undefeated streak. Mm-hmm. Now, 49ers are healthy. Brock Purdy picked up right where he left off, proving everybody wrong. He is having an incredible season. So, even though I think the Eagles are the best team in the NFL, I think the 49ers take this game. Similar to how the Eagles took the Super Bowl rematch against the Chiefs, there's more to prove. You've had this kind of bulletin board material since the end of last year. I got to get this done. And the Eagles are coming off an extremely tough week where they played both the Chiefs and the Bills in a short week. They're tired. They're beat up. They're still an incredible team. But I think the 49ers are going to take this one.
Yeah. Everything you just said is exactly right. The 49ers are rested. Yeah. They are the most well-rounded team compared to the Eagles, who, everything I just said, they have won, but it's been hard. It has not been an easy road to, what are they, 10-1, 9-1, whatever they are? I don't even know the record. It hasn't been an easy road for them. Right now, the 49ers are rested. I don't know if the 49ers have more to prove. This game does mean obviously more to them because they want the bye, right, heading into the playoffs. So I think it means more to them. But I feel that Philly is coming out with the mentality that they also have to prove that last year's win wasn't a fluke. So I don't think it's going to be, I'm picking the Niners with you as well for the reasons that they're rested, more well-rounded team. The Eagles have to be tired. But I think the Eagles are going to come out with the mentality of, we have to prove that if Brock Purdy wouldn't have gotten hurt last year, we still would have won. So I think the weight is on for the 49ers because they're going to want the top seed to get the bye, but the weight is on the Eagles because they want to prove that it wasn't a fluke and that they still would have beat them even if Brock Purdy wouldn't have hurt his elbow in the middle of the game. I'm looking forward to this game. They have to stop Christian McCaffrey, but like you just said, all right, so if your game plan is to stop Christian McCaffrey, what are you going to do? You got Deebo, you got Brandon Ayuk, and then George Kittle, who earlier in the season had 3 touchdown passes in a game. So it's like they have a lot of work to do. And the fact that the Eagles have lost their one game to the Jets just goes to show that a tough defense is going to be hard for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. That's their one loss against a tough defense. Mm-hmm. And the 49ers defense is it's one
of the top.
It's one of the top.
It's great.
And well rested, they're going to come out and they're going to want to kill Jalen Hurts.
Oh, I know.
It's gonna
who doesn't look 100%, but no one is at this point.
Nobody is at this point. And again, Jalen Hurts is my favorite Eagle. Just the way he handles himself and the way he acts like he's been there. I love that.
Very presidential.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Especially like
a great leader.
Like he and I give him credit for everything he's done in spite of the ups and downs with the defense and the offense. But I'm with you. The 49ers are just well rested.
They're well rounded, but this is going to be heated. There's a lot of talk back and forth. I think we have some sound from Hassan Reddick talking about how the 49ers talk is cheap.
You guys got the 49ers next. I know you just got done playing, but they did a lot of talking in the offseason about what happened in the NFC Championship game last year. How much of that has stayed in the back of your mind ahead of next week?
As this season been going on, not much. Talk is cheap. They get to come back in the link, It was a lot of boo-hoos last year, a lot of crying, a lot of what if, a lot of this, a lot of that. They get a chance to come back in here, line that up, and prove it again.
I mean, coming from a Phillies player that all they do is talk, it's like, come on, bro. I
love it.
Come on.
I love it.
All you do is talk.
There's going to be so much trash talk. And this is in Philly. And I don't know if you've ever been to a game in Philly, Xfinity Live, that's like in between Phillies and Eagles stadiums. It is madness. Like a Philly fan. I don't know if you saw the little viral video of the Philly kid going up to say hi and shake a Bill's hand.
Don't tell me you like that.
I laughed so hard. Tried to give him a high five and then gave him the bird real quick. I fell in love with Phillies fans covering the World Series last year. My mom's whole side of the family's from Philly, so I have like a deep connection to Philly. They're my East Coast team. I love them
I'm all about you being
so
a diehard fan.
I love
that
them
little kid doing
so
that
much.
Because if I'm an adult
very
and I'm
on brand.
having a bad moment and I curse the kid out, then I'm the bad guy. But the adult filming that is okay. But the adult that sent the kid to do that, that's okay. I hated that.
It's you can tell the tensions are high. Just anybody talking about this matchup tomorrow, it's going to be fire.